Hello, everyone, and welcome to SEL Check-ins with Slaughter.com and Google Sheets. I'm James Tickerman from Irving ISD in North Texas, and my contact information is there. You should always feel free to reach out to me for anything. So 2020 was a rough year, and in my position, I work with digital learning coaches who are at campuses. And around April of last spring, I realized we had been putting so much onto them. We had been asking for them to do so much work that I started to worry that we were going to overburden them and they were going to break. So I wanted to do some social emotional check-ins on them so that I could make sure that they were doing okay as people, since I already knew what an amazing job they were doing as employees. So I started looking for a simple way to organize the conversations and let them choose the time. As I said earlier, the idea and the tools used are really simple. I just chose Slaughter.com or any other scheduler you would like. I've recently found that you can do this through Canvas if that's your learning management system as well. I created the schedule of when I would be available. I sent out the links. One good tip is to give your team a heads up that it's coming. They chose their time that they would like to have me call. I made the call, and then later I added notes to my favorite platform, in this case, Google Slides or Google Docs, whatever. So Slaughter is really easy. Sign in with Google, and then create a new sheet. It's going to ask you to name the sheet. I usually name it something like DLC, Digital Learning Coach Check-in, but in this case I'll name it Fake. And I ignore all of those checkboxes. I don't look at them, I don't worry about them, I just hit next. Here I switch it from adding slots to adding a number of slots at once in bulk. Again, it's going to ask you to name it, and usually it'll bring up your old naming convention, what you just named it. Here's the trick. You got to remember what day you're doing this on. I always forget, and I make it for today, but remember what day. Set what time you want to start. Set what time you want to end. Set how long you want that session to go. 15 minutes for me. And how many minutes you want in between a break. I choose 0. That way the times line up perfectly, but you choose what makes you comfortable. After you've set up the dates, hit next. It will take you to the final publish screen. I hit publish, and then I find it and I click on it to check to make sure I did it all right. Yep, all on Friday the 18th, starting and finishing. Perfect. Once you've got this, you grab the link in the URL and you send it out to your team. They will be able to click on those slots and it will start populating with their names. I'll show you one that I've done, and I've got my coaches right there with their names, and you'll see exactly when you have it. I then take this, it sends you an email. I take this and I put it into my calendar. Creating the links is actually the easy part. Next, you have to have these real and deep conversations with people that you may know strictly professionally or may have not had a deeper relationship with. So here are just a couple of ideas. Some highlights are let them drive the conversation, be genuine, and be prepared for things to get real. Many people on your team will have experienced some pretty deadly consequences from COVID and other factors this year. Finally, while you're doing all of these check-ins, don't forget self-care. Having all of these emotional conversations in one day can be really draining on you. So think about yourself and have some chocolate on hand. Also, what I do is I take a lot of notes, but I always am discreet and thoughtful and kind with those. That's all for me. Just remember, I'm not a professional, but you don't need to be. You just need to care.